Okay, I've never made a vlog before, even on the rare occasion in which I would be in front of the camera. I'm just reading from a script. Everything is scripted on Renegade Cut, but this is not Renegade Cut. This is just. Oh. Okay, so I decided to spend Christmas at the movie theater, um, which should not be a huge surprise. And I decided to see a very bad movie called Collateral Beauty. You may have heard of it. So here's the premise. Um, Will Smith, he he plays like this great businessman. He's making this big speech to his employees, and he says, in life, there are just three abstractions. There's love, there's time, and then there's death. It's the only three things, and all that's important. Reminded me of the scene in Donnie Darko where the teacher says that everything is like these is love and hate or something, and that's all there is. And Donnie's like, wait a minute, that's bullshit. Life is more complicated than that. Um, and that's the point of the movie. This movie takes the purposefully BS Donnie Darko thing, adds one more, but really wants you to believe in it. Then we cut 3 years later, and Will Smith's daughter has passed away, um, and he's he's not just sad about it because of course he would be. Of course he's grieving, even 3 years later. Um, he's he, he's basically entirely silent to everyone around him. He refuses to pick up the phone. He refuses to talk to people. If he's in an elevator with like a friend he's known for many years, played by Edward Norton, he will just go like, no, he will not talk. He just refuses to talk. He's like this completely phony magical version of being depressed. Um, it's really inauthentic. That would be the way I would put it. It is inauthentic. He, we learn this. We learn about his condition because we see him set up all these dominoes. He's like the saddest domino player, and he sets up all these dominoes, and he pushes it, and it starts to go, and then he just turns away and walks away. You know that stupid thing about like cool guys don't look at explosions; they walk away from explosions. It's like that, but with dominoes. It's embarrassing to watch. So anyway, the movie starts. You see, and we get into the swing of it, and Edward Norton's character, and Kate Winslet's character, and Pena's character, like all the like good actors in this movie, they all decide that the best way to A, help him, get over his crap, and B, make the company realize he's nuts, and therefore they can sell the company to and make a lot of money, um, so they don't get fired or some business nonsense. They have to prove to the company that he's nuts. So what they do is they hire three actors to play love, time, and death, to force themselves into Will Smith's life and pretend to be those abstractions. Because Will Smith, by the way, I'm using the actors' names. I don't remember their names. It doesn't matter. Will Smith, he's been writing letters to time and to death and to love because he's lost, because he's mad at them because his daughter's dead. And he 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 meets these actors who are playing love, time, and death because they are hired by a huge company to prove that Will Smith is insane. They are gaslighting him. And the movie is aware of that. They explicitly say, so we're gaslighting him? And they just seem to think it's okay. Helen Mirren plays Death. And she's great. And Keira Knightley plays Love, and an actor I don't know, but he's good in it, plays Time, and they all interact with Will Smith to try to get him, basically try to lose his mind a little bit more. I don't know about the exact intentions, because it's ambiguous and unclear. But they're trying to get him to look crazy. The private investigator who found out about the letters records Will Smith talking to these actors playing the abstractions, and shows the video to some business head honcho to prove he's nuts, and digitally removes Keira Knightley and the abstractions from the video. She's a private investigator. She's not Industrial Light and Magic. It is extreme, like the video that has to remove like Keira Knightley from it also has like people who are behind Keira Knightley, so they would have to be added digitally. You know what Grand Moff Tarkin looked like in Rogue One? That's about as good as you can get it. And yet the people who are behind the person they removed just look like people. It requires, look, suspension of disbelief is important, but it requires a lot in this movie. It is embarrassing to watch. I know I already said that, but I felt like secondhand embarrassment for the actors on screen, because this is part of their filmography now. Edward Norton is a fine actor, and this is just part of who he is now. Whatever. But there's two twists, and they're just terrible. So here's one twist. Throughout the course of the film, Will Smith goes to therapy because obviously he's grieving, and he meets this woman. She's like the lead therapist, and he talks to her, and he discusses what he has lost, and she discusses what she has lost, and they speak to each other as strangers, as one would. The twist is that she's the mother of Will Smith's child who died, but they're talking to each other over the course of the film as if they don't know each other. Now, there's a plot contrivance that makes this make sense, but it still doesn't make sense, because people don't talk to each other like that. They just don't. It is preposterous. The second twist number 2, is that the abstractions, the actors playing the abstractions, really are love, time, and death. They are the magical, ethereal embodiments of love, time, and death. They were that all along. It's an unearned twist. Someone once said that the best kind of twist is that you never see it coming, but then when it happens, you realize the entire movie has been building up to this, and it seems obvious in retrospect. Now, I saw it coming. I think everyone could see it coming. But that's not really the problem. The problem is that it just doesn't make sense. It should, a twist should make sense. Like when the twist happens in The Sixth Sense, and you're caught off guard, you're caught by surprise. But then you think about it, like, oh yeah, the movie only works that way. The movie can't work this way, because the actors playing the abstractions, who actually are them, as it turns out, this movie is so stupid. They have all these elaborate dealings with other people, and if they really were love, time, and death, and they wanted to intercede in these people's lives, they could just do that instead of weaving this improbable tapestry of lies that could very easily unravel. I said in a video a while back that I hate when the word pretentious is used to describe a film, because 9 times out of 10 it is used incorrectly. A pretentious film is a film in which the writer or director or both clearly believe that what is happening is smart and meaningful, but is not. A pretentious film is not a movie that clearly the writer or director believes it is smart and is. If a movie meets the expectation of cleverness that the director or writer has for it, then it's not a pretentious film. Collateral Beauty is full of these empty, philosophical ramblings. And I know a thing or two about philosophical ramblings. Edward Norton says to Love, when I saw my daughter for the first time, I didn't just see love, I became love. I was like, shut up, Edward Norton. Shut up. You did not. It's so stupid. When Michael Pena is talking to Death, and Death says, are you dying? And Michael Pena says, we're all dying. Shut up, Michael Pena. Shut up. This dime store, like, Hallmark card philosophy is just, just all of it. There's all these things. The title drops in this movie a few times. Title dropping in a movie is always kind of awkward. I don't remember it ever being more awkward than in this film. For a couple of reasons. First, they say it over and over again, and it's such an obnoxious phrase. It really hits the ear wrong. Collateral Beauty. It really does. It sounds so forced. It's not just that people don't talk that way, because people don't have to talk normally in a movie. It's fiction. It's a reflection of life. It's distorted. A reflection is kind of backwards and inside out. But whenever they say Collateral Beauty, it really hits the ear wrong. The second problem with the frequent title drops is they never accurately explain what that means. I can use context clues to figure it out, because I know what the word collateral means. I know what the word beauty means, so I can kind of figure it out. But they just say it like we're supposed to feel it and understand it. It is an incredible piece of nonsense. It's almost impressive. But it's not the kind of bad movie where you can laugh at it, and that's part of the amusement, and you can kind of get over how bad it is because you can laugh at it. Because the movie is so, like, deadly serious, so manipulative in its tear jerkiness, that it's hard to laugh. It's more like you groan. I groaned at the movie. I will discuss this more in my year-end wrap-up video, which will be scripted. I will have more elaborate thoughts on Collateral Beauty, because I know this is making the worst of list that I'm going to do as part of that video. Dear God, this was bad. Will Smith really wants an Oscar, or his agent really wants to get him an Oscar, because he keeps getting into these movies that look like Oscar bait, but are actually trash. Oh well, Merry Christmas.